Hey guys, it's your old pal Tony Joel's TG here, and I'm going mobile on this video, but it's been so long since I actually did a Record Room video that I thought, you know what, it's been a while, let me reach out, let me talk to the guys. And since we last spoke, I have discovered a new record store, not a million miles away from where I live. It's based in Warsaw. If you follow me on social media, you will probably have heard about this shop before. It's called Eclipse Records. I go there fairly often, and they're great. The staff in there, the owners, the family that basically runs the store. They're really awesome people. They're great to chat to. They're music people, and I absolutely love going there. I will happily spend lots of money going to a record store where you know the people are doing this because they love records, essentially. And so I've been going there quite a lot since my last video, and I've just recently come back from buying some more records. So it's been a while. I thought I'd actually show you what I picked up recently as of today, plus one other thing that just came in the mail that I'm very happy with. But first off, while I was in Eclipse today, Pete, the guy that owns the store, he had mentioned that he had actually put out a couple of records not too long ago by the Home Current. And unbeknownst to me, he gave me a couple of copies, or gave me copies of both of the Home Current albums, and just said, you know, check them out, let me know what you think. So there are two albums. The first one is Cylinder Moses, which there you go. You can see that and me, and this one actually comes on grey vinyl, and this is kind of it's kind of like electronic music, kind of dancey, a little bit dancey, I would say. And I've actually been listening to, since I got back, I've been listening to the second album, which is called The Coyote Kiss, and this is great. This is really, really good. Obviously I've had to stop playing it now because of YouTube's algorithm, but I really, really dig this. I've only listened to the first disc because it's a 2 LP, so there is a nice gatefold, but it's really good. I always get a little bit wary when people give me free records, because they're usually free because no one's bought them because they're terrible. But in this case, it's really, really good. It's really good electronic music. I would absolutely recommend checking out the Home Current online. And in fact, I'll find out if these are still available. So you guys, if you check it out and you like it, so you guys can grab it for yourself. And before I'll talk about the record I picked up in the mail today, actually, I just ordered this from Mr Bongo. This didn't come from Eclipse, but it is something I would absolutely recommend to each and every one of you out there. Ryo Kawasaki's Juice. This is there we go, 1976 jazz fusion funk album. It's a really, really nice, it's a tip-on sleeve as well. It's a single disc tip-on sleeve, released by Mr Bongo. £20, this is £20, and it replicates perfectly the original release. The only thing that's kind of different is the Mr Bongo label down here. I heard some snippets of this online. This only came out yesterday, and I got my copy today. Saw it was coming out and thought the cover, well, that looks interesting. I will check out some samples online, and within seconds, yep, buy. That is the kind of album for me. So if you like things a little bit jazzy, a little bit funky, mid-70s Japanese jazz, I'm all over that. So had to grab that one. But these are my picks, or this is what I picked up recently from Eclipse. So, and when I say recently, as of today, like I've just come back there, and I thought, you know, I'm going to fire up the camera because it's been a while since I've done this. As you can see, the record room is still in an array of disarray, as it always will be, I think, until I actually move into a bigger room, which I am planning to do in the next year or so. This room is still just going to be full of records. It's absolutely insane. But first up, I picked the Madonna Erotica reissue. Now, I don't actually know when these came out. I think it was fairly recently, but Erotica was the first ever Madonna album I purchased myself. I had the Immaculate Collection when I was a kid, which was a Christmas present. which is a fantastic greatest hits. It's yeah, there's not a bad track on it. But Madonna's Erotica, this was my first Madonna album, as you can see there. Madonna's 1992 album, 2 LP, 180 gram vinyl. I love that. When she started going a little bit risque is not the word, because she's been doing that for a while, but you know, it's more grown up, but it's really good. Something that some of you guys may not was something some of you guys may wonder, why is that in my collection? Well, you know, I would say I'm a fan of 99% of musical genres. There's only one real genre that I don't really own any records from, and I'm not a fan of, and I can't see that changing anytime soon, and that is indie music. And when I say indie music, I mean like Britpop indie, mid-90s indie rock, whatever, especially like most importantly, or most like specifically English stuff, bands like Oasis, Blur, Pulp, all of that kind of thing. I cannot stand that stuff. Maybe it was because it was kind of the music of my generation, but I cannot listen to that garbage. I really can't. But during that time, there was some really awesome dance music released, like in the charts, and you know, I'm not opposed to a bit of a dance floor banger. And so when I saw this Ministry of Sound, I think it's called 33 Decades of Dance. And the songs on here, this is a Ministry of Sound album put out through Sony Music. I'm not sure if any of these tracks actually came out on the Ministry of Sound label. I'm sure some of them did, but I know some of these definitely didn't. But you got things on here like Faithless, Insomnia, which is one of the all-time classics, Chemical Brothers, Hey Boy, Hey Girl, Robert Miles' Children, CJ Bolland's Sugar is Sweeter, Fatboy Slim, Praise You, Shakedown at Night, Room 5 featuring Oliver Cheatham, Make Love, which was obviously very famous in the Lynx deodorant commercial here in the UK. But it's just, you know, as far as dance music goes, everything that I ever want is on this one compilation. So I saw that and it was £25 for a double LP. So no brainer. This next one, I picked this up because I had no idea it existed. I genuinely did not. But this is Tubular Bells 3. There we go, Tubular Bells 3. I picked up Tubular Bells 2 for Record Store Day, or from Record Store Day, because that's it was reissued this year. And Tubular Bells 2, obviously Tubular Bells, the first album, massive success, kind of launched Virgin Records, actually made the label, I believe, profitable for the first time. But Mike Oldfield's album, known worldwide as the theme from The Exorcist, even though it's not, it's just the first part of side 1. But Tubular Bells 2 came out when I was maybe 12 or 13, around then. I was fairly young, but I genuinely loved it. I fell in love with the Tubular Bells album, or Tubular Bells 2. And so when it came out for Record Store Day, I grabbed that, and I saw Tubular Bells 3 today, and I thought, well, I like the first two. I'm probably going to like the third one as well. So I jumped on the third one. Nick Drake, Brighter Later. Now, ordinarily, I would steer clear of these Back to Black reissues. I would, because I'm fairly certain they're all from Digital Masters. But the thing is, trying to find an original Nick Drake LP, any of the three, any of them, is insane. The prices are just... Pink Moon is probably his most famous album, and at the time it was also his least selling album. So finding original copies of that for less than 4 figures is it is what it is. So and I didn't have a copy of Brighter Later, and what kind of swung it for me is it actually replicates the original. The original sleeve had kind of a stippling effect. And I don't know if this is coming across on the camera. Maybe there you can see it. But, you know, I just thought, even a digital record, it's going to sound good enough to listen to. For me, in my record room. And, you know, I was sick and tired of not having it in my collection. And if I'm going to listen to it digitally, just so I can listen to it, might as well listen to it digitally on vinyl, right? Makes sense. Nora Jones, Come Away With Me. This is the 2022 reissue. This is an all analog reissue for anyone wondering out there. So this is cut from the original master tape. This is released via Blue Note. There is a pretty cool box set for this as well. I did contemplate buying the box set at one point, but as much as I love this album, I genuinely do love Nora Jones' voice. She is fantastic. I don't know when I'd ever listen to the bonus stuff, so I just thought I'm going to grab Come Away With Me. I enjoyed that record so much. When it first came out, I bought the CD. I was working at HMV at the time, and we had it on constantly in the store, and I just got to the point where I was like, I gotta buy this album because it's so good. Next up, one of the, this is probably going to be, I mean, I hate like certain labels like Back to Black and this one as well, We Are Vinyl. These things, I'm really not a fan of these kind of, I don't know if they're both Sony imprints, but I'm not a fan of them because the records usually sound garbage. But this, WuTang Forever, the second Wu-Tang Clan album, this is a triple LP set. Very, very bare bones. It's just a basic double wide sleeve, but three records inside it, 180 gram vinyl. Wasn't massively expensive for what it was. I think it was around £40. But for a triple LP, I will happily pay that. And this one, you know, I don't think it was actually recorded analog. I can't see why it would have been at the time. So, being a reissue, probably taken from digital files, I'll give it a go. And I love the first two Wu-Tang Clan albums. I like the third one, the W. There's a couple of tracks. Obviously, Gravel Pit is fantastic. And I think the album after that as well, I'm blanking on the name now, but even that one's pretty good, good stuff. But I remember I was already a Wu-Tang Clan fan. I bought the first album when it first came out, and by the time Forever came out, I was just, wow. And it's such a long album. It was a double CD back when it first came out. So, triple LP set. It's going to take me a while to work through it, but work through it I shall. This is the latest in the Blue Note Classic Vinyl series, and this is Dial S for Sonny. Sonny Clark with Art Farmer. As you know from watching this channel, I don't know a lot about jazz music, but the more and more jazz I listen to, the more and more I'm becoming a fan. And these Blue Note Classic series, they are brilliant. I blind buy virtually all of these. And they're brilliant. They're about £20, regardless of where you shop. And so far, out of the maybe, I don't know, what, 15 or 20 have been released so far? I can't honestly say there's been a dud. So make of that what you will. But again, you can always sample this stuff online if you are interested, because these albums have been around for ages. This is something I had on order with them, and it's Converge's Blood Moon. So this album, this is what do you call this, a collaboration? I guess you could call it a collaboration. So it's under the Converge name, but it's actually essentially the members of Converge and Chelsea Wolfe, who fantastic artist. This album came out digitally sometime last year, maybe I think it was around autumn time last year. And I listened to it. I'm a big Converge fan, for those of you that aren't aware. I try to, when it comes to new music, if I know it's coming on vinyl, I will try to avoid listening to a digital copy, because I want my first experience of hearing that record to be my first experience of hearing that record. And if I listen to it digitally, it's not going to be the same. You know, as much as I might have, a couple of decent sets of headphones, which I do, it's not the same. It's not, for me, it's not the same. And for those of you out there that are digital listeners, however you get your music, great for you. Honestly, for me, I'm a vinyl guy. I don't mind waiting. And they announced at the time of the album's release that there will be a vinyl version. It's just production. And as we all know, production takes time, effort, and there have been numerous delays. So this is finally out now on vinyl. It has been out for a little while, but I asked Eclipse to order this in for me. And this is the Death Wish Indie Store exclusive color. I don't necessarily care about that. I didn't actually know it was on a color when I ordered it, but I think it's like a blue smoke. But this album is utterly fantastic. I cannot recommend this album enough. It's got the heaviness and the intensity and the mood of Chelsea Wolf and Converge combined. It's just, yeah. A few years back, 2016, I believe it was, I went to the Converge show. Was it called Blood Moon back then? It was the Converge show where they played like Jane Doe, but it was they'd rearranged. It was absolutely amazing. So good. And my final pickup, and this is something that apparently came out for Record Store Day. I had no clue about this. It's Chet Baker and Ennio Morricone. Now, obviously, Chet Baker, famous jazz musician, and Ennio Morricone, just legend, absolute legend. I didn't know about this 10-inch. It's limited to 1,000 copies, released through Mooching About. And I saw this in Eclipse, and it was in their kind of, it was in their reduced section bin. So I thought, oh, what's Chet Baker and Ennio Morricone? I'm like, both of those guys, what is this? So it's the 60th anniversary remastered edition of the track, I Know I Will Lose You. And this is a 3-track 10-inch. Chet Baker and Ennio Morricone, Chet's Lullaby, and Motivo. This is 4 tracks: Chet's Lullaby, Ochiti Paradero, because everybody knows my Italian's terrible, Motivo su raggio di luna, and Il mio umani. Okay, those ones were a little bit better for me, but the reason I jumped on this was the hype sticker. Now, some people say hype stickers, you know, they tear their packaging off and they throw their hype stickers away. I keep my hype stickers because that's the kind of insane person I am. But it's not often that a hype sticker will actually hype me up enough to buy the record, and that is the purpose of a hype sticker. So never let it be said that a good hype sticker is not warranted, but this is brilliant. So, Chet Baker and Ennio Morricone, I Know I Will Lose You. Written by Chet Baker whilst incarcerated in a prison in Lucca, Italy, after he was convicted of drug smuggling and forgery and sentenced to 1 year, 7 months and 10 days in an Italian prison. After his release, RCA Italia organised collaborative sessions with composer, arranger, conductor Ennio Morricone, and these beautiful and exotic works were born. So had Chet Baker not been arrested for drug smuggling and forgery, would we have ever had this record? I don't know. I don't know. And honestly, I'm not familiar with this, but yeah, it wasn't super expensive, and I thought I had to do it. I had to do it.